Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Greetings to all, JJ checking in. I pray all of you are in good health. In my previous episodes, I think I've made references to listening, and I've said that to listen is simple, but then again, it's one of the most challenging skills to have. In today's high speed and high tech world, we really give little time to listen, and we devote more time to talking, more time to doing, and less time to really have genuine listening. Because when we have genuine listening, it's like a skill to build deeper and how shall I say, more stronger relationship, to get a meaningful connection, and also to make a person feel understood. Okay, how many of you say you're a good listener? When I started my journey, I wasn't a good listener, but over the years, I picked up the skills to become a good listener. Let me kind of go back a bit. We know as humans, we can speak 125 to 150 words per minute, but our brain actually can comprehend 600 words per minute. So when we are listening, actually, our minds are being underutilized. Why is that so, you ask me? Because when we are listening, it's just like we are not doing much to feed the brain, because we are avoiding to interrupt, we are avoiding to make judgment, and then we have to show interest. When we show interest, we focus fully on the speaker. In recalling my journey to build up my listening skills, when I recall when I was the elder sister, I was always telling my younger siblings to what and how to do. And then as a spouse, of course I listen as a spouse, but sometimes I always interrupt the conversation. So I wasn't really listening. And then as I moved to become a manager, there's always little time to listen to my staff, because I was very much task driven and result oriented. However, throughout the journey then, when I got more involved with facilitation, with mentoring, with coaching, I discovered that I need to listen more and speak less. Why is that so? Because when I listen more, I understand more. And I found that there were challenges in listening, because we as human beings, we sometimes have pseudo listening. So that is, we fake, we have false listening, we pretend we're listening, but actually we are not listening. And then we also have selective listening, meaning, we pick what we want to listen and we discard certain points when we don't want to listen to those points. Thirdly, we have critical thinking. Sometimes we go for sales talk or sales pitch. We are very cautious to be, we criticize sometimes on the speaker rather than listening to the points. Okay, listening is a skill we take for granted. I want to share with you, in listening, if you want to become a good listener, an effective listener, actually there are 3 levels of listening. The first level of listening is inner listening, meaning to say when we have level 1 listening, actually we are listening to our inner voice. We are not listening to the speaker. We are just hearing. We are not really listening. So when we do level 1 listening, it's like we interpret whatever the speaker is saying. This is a normal everyday conversation. We kind of have our own interpretation and we have our own judgment of whatever the speaker is saying. Okay, the next level, level 2, is what we call focus listening. In focus listening, here we encourage you to listen intently to the other person. Meaning to say, when we do level 2 listening, we listen to understand and not to respond. Most of the times, when we are listening, like in level 1, we are always eager to say something what the speaker has spoken. But in level 2, it says pause. You cannot respond. You need to understand. Listen to understand. That is level 2. We call it focus listening. The third level is what we call global listening. In global listening, this is where we listen to the other person in terms of the words, the nuances, the body language. And here is like listening with empathy. We have to listen more to understand the whole situation that the speaker is saying. In other words, we pick up more what is being said and not trying to color in between the meaning of what the speaker is saying. So, in other words, let's do more of level 3 listening and less of level 1. If we can do level 2, it's really good. I'm happy. I try to do this most of the time when I want to listen, especially now I have 5 children living with me. And yes, it's very challenging to hear and listen to all of them at the same time. But when I want to have an effective listening session, I'll have a one-on-one session when we can really practice level 2, especially for me, I can practice level 2 and level 3 listening skills. So, my friends, what I'm trying to say here, when we're to listen effectively, please give full attention to the words, nuances, and the unspoken meaning of the other person's communication. We listen beyond articulation. Remember, we listen for versus listen to. We are being more aware versus preempting. And what is important is we elicit versus leading the conversation. So, friends, don't forget to subscribe to know more. Thank you for listening. Selamat berpuasa. Stay well. Wassalam. JJ checking out.